Monaco's 2 square kilometers of land are getting pretty crowded for the opulent and wealthy. The Principality has had the same land problem for countless decades, but no one could solve it. Not until Prince Albert II proposed a $2 billion project akin to something you'd find in Dubai, not on the French Riviera. And despite the architect's claims that the design is sustainable and eco-friendly, locals think it's only going to benefit the ultra-wealthy. In 2022, Monaco had a population of 36,298 on such a tiny plot of land, making Monaco the second most densely populated country in the world, with around 18,000 inhabitants per square kilometre. It's only 3,000 less than Macau. Simply put, life in Monaco might seem luxurious, glamorous, extraordinary, but it's also noisy, crowded, expensive, and pretty hectic. Things have gotten so crazy that a simple one-bedroom apartment could cost you around $2 million. For that price, you could buy this sprawling villa in Nice, France, overlooking the French Riviera, and you'd still be only 20 minutes away from the bustling centre of Monaco. Still, wealthy businessmen and celebrities like Bono, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Novak Djokovic prefer Monaco for its laws and freedoms. That's why they're willing to pay extraordinary prices for ordinary apartments. But this tiny country is running out of room. Despite the countless construction crews working and adding to the noise pollution of Monaco, they can't seem to satisfy demand. This is why Prince Albert II of Monaco is trying to build the Mareterra, which will offer 120 residential properties on the country's scarce real estate market, together with masterful architects like Denis Vallord, Renzo Piano and Michel Devine. Vallord is at the forefront of French architectural practices through Vallord and Pistre architects. Italian architect Renzo Piano was the winner of the prestigious Pritzker Prize in Architecture in 1998. Devine, on the other hand, pioneered landscape architecture for almost 3 decades. The stellar team of architects leading the Mareterra shows us what sustainable design should look like. The first prince to initiate a land expansion in 1907 was Prince Albert I, but in Albert II's hands, Monaco was going to receive the largest territorial expansion project. The name is derived from 2 French words, which literally mean sea and land. This 6-hectare project that cost Monaco $2 billion is going to turn part of the sea into land. Now, if we look at a bird's eye view of Mareterra, we'll notice that on the right, there are 10 individual villas. Then there are 4 townhouses, and finally, on the far left of Mareterra's master plan comes Lorenzo, a residential building with 50 residential units over an area of 376,000 square feet. The apartment units will be of different sizes, with the smallest being 4,300 square feet or 399 square meters. As you can see, these are not your average run-of-the-mill apartments. Each apartment overlooks the ocean on one side and the marina on the other. Some of the apartments have bedrooms overlooking the sea for complete calm and serenity. And of course, we can't forget about the 65-foot by 54-foot swimming pool named after Princess Charlene. That's going to be using filtered seawater that's replenished daily. Unfortunately, only residents of Lorenzo will have access to the pool. The pool, overlooking the Mediterranean, will mark the entrance to the small marina, which will be surrounded by retail stores, restaurants and cafes where locals can socialise. Below ground, Mareterra will function like a Disney World. Below the surface, Mareterra will have a parking garage separated into 2 sections. One will be for the homeowners, while the other will be available to visitors and tourists. Of course, designing and building such a project was a massive undertaking that started in 2013. During the first quarter of 2013, Monaco announced the land extension project. By 2015, they signed a treaty authorizing the construction of the Mareterra. The following year, diving teams explored the seafloor to catalogue the local flora and fauna in order to protect it from the dangers of construction. In 2017, Monaco began dredging polluted sediment using powerful dredge ships, like the ones used to construct the Palm Jumeirah. At the start of 2018, construction crews began placing the first embankments. By July of that same year, Prince Albert II inaugurated the installation of the first caisson. By the end of 2019, the maritime structure was finally complete. And here you can see the Eco District under construction in the summer of 2020. By 2020, Lorenzo began construction. In July 2021, all of the eco-design measures were put in place so that even 510 square meters of Posidonia oceanica, which is a protected species of seagrass, was protected. By the summer of 2022, the south side of Lorenzo's concrete works were complete, and by the winter, workers began planting trees in the Eco District. In July 2023, the district finally showed its true face, and by November this year, Monaco plans to unveil Mareterra to the world, 8 months ahead of schedule. They're hoping to incorporate sustainable living with a luxury lifestyle. Speaking of which, what's the first thing you notice when you see a picture of the Mareterra? From the gorgeous villas to the residential building in Lorenzo, they're all surrounded, almost smothered in trees, plants and grass. And this was precisely what Monaco was going for. While most of the residential buildings will still be for the ultra-wealthy, the gardens and verdants were built for everyday people and tourists. According to Prince Albert II, the purposes of different seaboard extensions in Monaco have varied over time. I have personally ensured that Mareterra meets Monaco's real estate needs while respecting the environment in which it's built. The development is being carried out in a sustainable way, respectful of both the landscape and quality of life, to be seen as a natural extension of our territory. The Mareterra cedes around 90,000 square feet of waterfront land to the public and about 2,000 feet or 600 meters of bicycle tracks. The lush green parks will allow homeowners and tourists to feel closer to nature while residing in the most luxurious country in the world. Inside the green water gardens, residential buildings with long balconies will intertwine with swimming pools, meeting rooms, spas, salons, massage parlors and fitness centers for ultimate enjoyment. There's also a giant 110,000 square foot of verdant public land that's designed by landscape architect Michel Devine and open to the public. The pavilion at Mareterra will feature a major restored work by artist Alexander Calder. Now, around 27,000 square meters of land have been planted with plants and 800 trees, while 19,000 square meters are reserved for pedestrians. The Mareterra incorporates solar energy into its design, with around 9,000 square meters of solar panels, 200 charging stations for EVs, and systems for reusing 50% of the rainwater inside a 600-ton reservoir. With this, around 80% of Monaco's heating and cooling needs will be covered by green and renewable energy sources. And despite all of this, there have been harsh critics of Mareterra, saying that these quote-unquote eco-friendly features are just a cover-up. While Monaco's Crown Prince and the architects like to praise the Mareterra as a sustainable architectural marvel, some critics have pointed out that this will just make Monaco's housing problem even worse. While the Mareterra is good for tourism and attracting capital in an irrationally high-priced real estate market, it makes things worse for people living there. As more businessmen and celebrities move into the region, life for average workers becomes increasingly difficult. The chaos is not sorted, more and more people move in, and noise pollution continues. So we, therefore, ask you, is Mareterra a stellar example of sustainable, eco-friendly architecture, or just another ploy by greedy businessmen to squeeze every last ounce of profit from the market? Now, here's another video mega projects enthusiasts love watching. Bye for now.